Following the announcement of Rassie Erasmus' squad for the Rugby Championship clashes against Argentina, here are our 5 takeaways. Erasmus has a knack for stunning the public and throwing a few surprises into the mix, but there were no such shocks when he released his squad for the final 2 rounds of the Rugby Championship. And why would they be? 1 win from 2 with an aggregate score of 34-60 in New Zealand against the All Blacks is certainly nothing to be scoffed at. In fact, many a previous Springbok squads would have ripped your arm off for that kind of result. Jean-Luc Dupreez, Le de Jager and Afilio Fassi all dropped out, the latter pair sustaining injuries in the first half of the historic defeat of the All Blacks, while the former suffered a setback in the build-up to the first test. The most surprising selection was the dropping of Willie Leroux, who falls out of the squad after starting the Eden Park encounter, a decision that hints that the next generation is being ushered through, and the elder heads are being worked out. But more on that later. The pack remains unchanged entirely, with the props Hushon and Aotearoa back to do the job once again versus Argentina, with Jan-Hendrik Wessels primed to provide cover at hooker and prop. Bondim Benambi arrived late in New Zealand and ultimately didn't play against the All Blacks, but is back in the mix again. There looks to be sufficient cover in the second row despite the injury to de Jager, as Franco Mostert, Juan Norge, and R.G. Snyman cover the number 5 role, while Eben Etzebeth will likely start both games in the tight headlock position. Jasper Wiese was at his destructive best in Wellington, remaining disciplined in doing so too, and adds real venom to the loose forwards along with the likes of Marco van Staden, Pieter-Steph du Toit, Quagga Smith and Captain Sia Kolisi. In the halfbacks, Faf de Klerk is retained in the squad with no further changes as he is joined by Grant Williams, Kobus Renak and Morn van den Berg, while the same is true in the fly half-stocks, which includes Sasha Feinberg-Gomezelu, Handré Pollard and Manier Lebach. The midfield is stacked with options, including Damien de Allende, Jesse Creel, Kanan Moody, Ethan Hooker and hybrid forward-back Andre Esterwijzen. Moody and Hooker also provide options on the wings and Damian Willems at full-back and center. The winger options are Makazole Mapimpi and Cheslin Kolbe. World Cup setup? SA Rugby have stated that 3 further players may be added to the squad pending medical assessments, but there is a unique opportunity to recreate a Rugby World Cup-esque style run through the final stages of the Rugby Championship. Many of the current squad members will be well aware of what a World Cup demands, not only physically but mentally, too, with some having featured in 3 global tournaments. However, there are many fresh faces in the setup who have not experienced it. With a squad of 33, the coaches have the chance to stress certain scenarios with injuries and test training plans 2 years out. Sure, the November internationals offer similar challenges, but, with a game in Durban and then Twickenham, there is the additional stress of long-haul travel. This might all be academic as Erasmus may very well add the 3 further players, but the temptation will be there to use this final block of the campaign as a litmus test for many of his players and the coaching team.